Good evening, YouTube and BookTube. This is Johnny. Once again, it is a Monday. I'm doing another video because I did a mail opening, mail haul thing this afternoon when I showed you my new shipment of New York Review books originals. I showed you this one. And I showed you this one I got in the mail today, New York Stories of Elizabeth Hardwick. This is the book that I read last year, Sleepless Nights, Elizabeth Hardwick. This is one of my favorite reads from last year. I think this came out in 2001, but I read it last year. I also got the collected essays of Elizabeth Hardwick in the New York Review Book Classics Originals. And I have also by Elizabeth Hardwick Sight Readings, American Fictions. These are like old essays on different American writers. Like there's an essay on the genius of Margaret Fuller, essay on Gertrude Stein, essay Citizen Updike, Reckless People, Richard Ford, essay on Catherine Ann Porter, Edmund Wilson, Norman Mailer, Mary McCarthy, Elizabeth Bishop, people like that, people that I collect and I read. So this is I've been reading this off and on. I'm on page 259. I read these essays once in a while when I'm down the lower level. Really enjoyed Sleepless Nights. And now I got today her New York Stories, Elizabeth Hardwick. And so I thought I'd show that. So I talked about doing a Monday Reads, but then I remembered after I made the video that I haven't done my Book Nook haul. I volunteered at the Book Nook today, which is Monday, February the 25th, and I volunteered last Friday at the Book Nook, and I brought home some used books, and I haven't shown those. So this is what I got last week, Friday, at the library used bookstore, the Book Nook. I found there a little biography on Nancy Mitford by Harold Acton. As you all know, I read Nancy Mitford. Nancy Mitford was the eldest and most famous of the Mitford sisters. A relentless tease, she wrote brilliantly satirical novels about her family and those around her, about what was her whoppish sense of humor like for friends. This intimate biography draws a witty real-life portrait of Nancy based on the letters she intended to use for her autobiography. The result is a sparkling and irresistible portrait filled with her unique voice and endless addiction to gossip and shrieking. Arnold Acton was the model for one of Evelyn Waughan's most flamboyant characters, a poet, writer, historian, one of Nancy Mitford's greatest friends. So I found that. And I found a classic. I didn't have this in our library. I read it probably when I was a kid. This is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I remember when I was really young, I used to read his stories, but that was a long time ago. And I found a little collection of short stories by William Gibson, a sci-fi writer, Burning Chrome. And I already had this book. This is Selected Stories of Franz Kafka, but I like the cover, and this is in the Modern Library book collection. It has all his classic short stories. I got this because I liked the cover, and it was in good condition. I have it downstairs. And then as you all know, I collect books on London, England, and I found this one, the Norton Book of London, edited by N. Wilson. I collect the writings of A. N. Wilson. I have a stack of his books downstairs, and I found this at the Book Nook about London. It's kind of like it has, it's under different headings, like Chapter 1, The Face of Waterloo Steps. Then you have Chapter 3, Monuments. Chapter 6, London Animals. Chapter 8, Royal London. Chapter 9, London at War. These are all just taken from different books and journals and letters and things dealing with different aspects of the city of London. Then I found this novel by a Cuban writer, translated out of Spanish by Gregory Rabassa. This is Jose Lezama, Lima, Paradiso. This is one of those Dalkey Archive Press books. If I see a Dalkey Archive Press books, I buy them because they tend to publish books and writers that don't get normally printed or published, but are really worth reading. Their books are always excellent. This was copyrighted in 1968 and published by Dalkey Archive Press in 1999. It says here in the back, this is from the Latin American Literature Series, a classic of modern literature. Paradiso was first published in Cuba in 1966, quickly hailed as a masterpiece by such eminent writers as Julia Cortez, Mario Vargas Lasso, written by Cuba's most important poet. It tells the story of Jose Semi, who, in the wake of his father's premature death, comes of age in the turn of the century Cuba, weaving the exhilarations and defeats of love into extraordinary erotic verbal tapestries. Lima narrates Sema's search for his dead father and for understanding of love and the powers of the mind. It looks really good. I really like Latin American writers, Mexican writers, Cuban, Argentina, Brazilian. Then I found this at the Book Nook, this big hardback illustrated of Dante's Divine Comedy. These are illustrations by Gustave Dore, which is a very famous wood carver. It's only $2, and I like the wood carvings. So that's what I got at the Book Nook last Friday. So now I can put these down the lower level, get them out of the living room. So I got all these at the Book Nook last Friday. Now today, at the Book Nook, all I found was this novel titled Thomas Murphy, a novel by Roger Rosenblatt. I have 2 other books by He's written, says here in the back, Roger Rosenblatt is the author of 6 off-Broadway plays, 18 books, including Making Toast, Kayak Morning, The Boy Detective. Now, I have 2 other books by him. This is his Coming Apart, a memoir of the Harvard Wars of 1969 by Robert Rosenblatt. This is like a memoir of his time at Harvard. And then I have The Boy Detective, A New York Childhood by Rosenblatt. So I was reading this today when I was at the Book Nook, and I was really enjoying it. So it's kind of like my Monday reads. I didn't get that far in it. I left a little marker in there. I think I did. But what I read, I really enjoyed, and so it was my. I brought it home. And it was Saturday. My wife and I went to a thrift store. She had to get a picture frame for a little thing that she has. And I looked at the used books. And I found this just volume 1 of the life of Langdon Hughes, volume 1, 1902 to 1941. I Too Sing America. This is by Arnold Rampersad. I already had another biography. He wrote this biography of Ralph Ellison by Arnold Rampersad. He wrote this. I bought this a number of years ago at a bookstore in Grand Haven. I haven't gotten around to reading it. Ralph Ellison is famous for his novel, The Invisible Man. And Langdon Hughes was a very famous African-American poet. This is his poetry, collected poetry by Langston Hughes. So I do plan to buy the second volume in paperback of this biography, The Life of Langdon Hughes. I have it in my Amazon save box. So, and today, as you all notice, I went and got a haircut, and I stopped at Goodwill, and I just found a Kurt Vonnegut novel, Mother Night. Now, I have most of Vonnegut's writings. I had this already, but my copy is really beat up. This is the one I had down the lower level. I bought this years ago at a library book sale, and I bought a stack of old Kurt Vonnegut, like 10 of his novels. They're all beat up paperbacks. This is one of them. But I really like the cover of this one compared to the one I had. I like that little cover. It's kind of cool. And the last couple of days I've been reading once again Clarice Lispector's stories. And I've been reading those last couple of days when I've been kind of out of it. I don't know, I think the winter's gotten to me, and also I'm kind of freaked out about my wife leaving for 2 weeks next week. She'll be gone to visit for a week our son Josiah and his wife Hannah and Marika in the Seattle area, and then she's going to go to Denver for a week and visit our daughter Beth and her family. And so for 2 whole weeks I'm going to be here by myself, and I don't like that. I like my wife being near me. But I understand she has to go visit our grandchildren. So I just have to deal with it. Plus, I don't know. I just feel kind of weird inside, kind of frozen inside. I feel kind of frozen. Kind of like thick clog of stuff. Nothing's moving. It's just this clog inside of me. But I've been really enjoying, once again, Clarice Lispector's complete stories. They were translated Portuguese by Katharina Dotson. I just really like these. So I've been reading those in the afternoons and the evenings. So that's the Nook book haul, what I got at thrift stores, what I've been reading, the state of my state of being. I'm going to keep these up here on my to-be read pile. See, it says here novels in 3 lines. See, if you look at it, there's just 3 lines. Like an unidentified maker of plastic jewels from the 3rd Assaisonment was fishing in a boat with his wife at Mince. She fell, he died, both gone. It has these old... this was first published like in a literary journal. It has these old photos in there from that time period. See? It has, you know, it's just a kind of like a, have these old things in it. Yeah, it says novels in 3 lines collects more than 1,000 items that appeared anonymously in the French newspaper Le Matin in 1906. The true stories of murder, mayhem, and everyday life presented with a ruthless economy that provokes laughter even as it shocks. This extraordinary trove, undiscovered until 1940s, and here translated for the first time into English, is the work of the mysterious Phoenix Phalan, dandy, anarchist, a critic of genius, the discovery of Georges Seurat, who was a famous painter in Paris, and the first French publisher of James Joyce. Phalan carefully maintained his own anonymity, toiling for years as an obscure clerk in the French War Department. Novels in 3 lines is his secret work of art, a work of strange and singular art that brings back the long ago year of 1906 with the haunting immediacy of a photograph, while looking forward to such desperate works as Walter Benjamin's Arcades Project and the Death and Disaster series of Andy Warhol. But check out The Sleepless Nights by Elizabeth Hardwick. I really enjoyed this. You can't go wrong reading Elizabeth Hardwick, her essays. So I'll sign off. I don't know. I thought my wife's working tonight, but she's off tomorrow night. But I might do a video on, I have to prepare my diary for March 2019. Have to do that video. I got books coming in the mail too tomorrow. I'm really getting a lot of stuff coming in the mail lately. I don't know why. I got 3 books coming in the mail tomorrow. No, I got 2 books and a CD coming in the mail tomorrow. So I'll show those in the next video. And I'm reading other things on my to-be-read pile. I did want to show you a book by Bruce F. Longenecker, who I showed this afternoon, his commentary on the Epistle of Romans. I want to show you a book he wrote on the Apostle Paul that goes along with the Christian and the law and Christian ethics. That really was a major, had an impact on my own life, spiritually as a Christian. So now here it is, February the 25th, is 9/11 here in Michigan. I gotta drink something, my throat is dry. So I'll sign off. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the comments. Hope you're all having a good week. And until next time, bye.